An unprecedented new consciousness is transforming the entire human species. A new world is being born. The old world is disintegrating. Both worlds now call to you. Do you want to live in gratitude, patience, contentment, and awe of the universe? Or in anger, worry, overwhelm, and despair? This podcast will help you choose joyfully and effectively. Welcome. Child-parent relationships are the most difficult in the Earth School. That means they offer you the most potential for accelerated spiritual growth. Your interactions with your parents, and also with your children if you have children, offer all involved opportunities to experience and challenge the most difficult, frightened parts of your personalities, and also opportunities to cultivate the loving parts of your personality, which are always nurturing and fulfilling. Should I still have contact with my screaming mother? She upsets me, and I find my body shaking. I'm not a family counselor, so I'm not going to give you any advice about what you should or you shouldn't do, but I can share a perspective with you that may be helpful. Every encounter that you have in the Earth School, and that includes encounters with your mother and your other parents and your family members, provide you opportunities to grow spiritually. Well, what does that mean? It means they provide you opportunities to learn about yourself so that you can change yourself for the better. So your mother is offering you an opportunity to grow spiritually. Now you can expand your perspective. You can look at your mother as a soul and yourself as a soul. And you can look at these two souls as souls that have made an agreement to interact in the Earth School, in physical reality, should certain circumstances come into being, in order to assist mutually in their spiritual development. You're together. Those circumstances have happened. Now will you use these interactions to assist you in your spiritual development? It's for your mother to use her interactions with you in her spiritual development. So now we're focused on your spiritual development. That means, what are the emotions that you're feeling? You've told me that your body is shaking, so obviously it's quite an experience for you. But I want to suggest that you begin to entertain the idea that the experience is not being caused by your mother, but that your mother, this other soul, is activating in you an internal dynamic, and you are experiencing the emotional and the physical manifestations of that dynamic. In other words, you can try to change your mother. You can try to get her to stop screaming or behave rationally, or at least rationally in your opinion. You can stop seeing her, which is what you're asking about. Or while she's screaming at you, while your body's shaking, or while you're thinking about these things, you can look inside yourself. You can put your attention, for example, in your chest area or your throat area or your solar plexus. You can look for physical sensations in your body. And if they're painful, and in this case they will be, or uncomfortable at the very least, then that is how you know that fear is active in you. And that if you act on that fear, you will create difficult or painful consequences for yourself. So you can stop seeing your mother, but if you stop seeing your mother with the intention of rejection, of pushing her away, of judgment, of inferiority or of superiority, then you are creating with fear. You could decide not to see her anymore with the intention of love, with the intention of taking care of yourself without judging her, with compassion for her because she is in so much pain that she's screaming at one of her children. It's the intention that determines the consequences that you create with each action and with each word that you speak. So now we come back to you and your screaming mother and your reactions, your emotional experiences. If you react on those experiences, and that is a very clear word, react, act as you have before, you will create the consequences that you have created before. If you respond, that means put a little distance between you and the person in front of you. Look inside yourself and then choose whether to respond or to react, to feel the emotions that you're experiencing, and even though they're painful, to choose not to act in judgment or superiority or inferiority or anger or frustration, but to respond with as much love as you can. That could be patience, that could be caring, it could be simply looking inside yourself and not speaking. And if you feel that leaving is the most healthy thing you can do, then do it in a way that blesses her and blesses you as well. This is not easy to do, but this is how authentic power is created. And by the way, while we're talking about this internal dynamic, I want to suggest to you that even if your mother were not in your life, and one of these days she won't be, that this internal dynamic will still remain intact if you don't challenge it, locate it, experience it, and challenge it by acting in love instead. This internal dynamic will remain in place, and it will be activated again by other people in other circumstances, and you'll find yourself shaking. You'll find yourself experiencing the same emotions and thinking the same thoughts that you're feeling when you're with your mother. And this will continue. And that's because the Earth School is compassionate and wise. The universe is compassionate and wise. And this is a part of your personality that prevents you from moving into your full potential, from giving the gifts that you were born to give. So you can look at this experience from that perspective with gratitude. You can see that it is offering you an opportunity to free yourself of a fear that was with you when you were born and certainly is with you now, but that you can free yourself of as you move forward in your life, as you move toward your own fulfillment, as your own creativity, joy, meaning, and purpose. And looking back on that, you'll be able to say, thank you. Thank you to the universe. Well, if you have this perspective, which is the perspective of your soul, which is a multisensory perspective, then you can experiment with saying thank you right now while you're in the process. Join me next time to explore the epic transformation of human consciousness that is reshaping our species and your part in it. It may surprise you. I'm Gary Zukav.